Hello and welcome to the aForm Show, the premier podcast for all things architecture and design across the MENA region. Welcome to your tribe.
Hello and welcome to the show, everyone. Today we are joined by Amr Abdelaziz, Senior Interior Designer at LW. Amr is known for his innovative take on luxury and hospitality interiors. A keen eye for detail and knowledge of materiality has allowed him to push conventional design boundaries and craft immersive guest experiences. Super excited for this episode. So without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome to the show, Amr. Did I get it right?
Very, very well done. Very, very close to the actual name. Thank you.
I came close.
You came close.
All right. So that's a good starting point, actually, because off air we were discussing about your name and how its origins are fairly common, but also very strong. So let us start with Baby Amr in Cairo.
Okay.
How do you find that sort of experience growing up in a country like Egypt and its influences? How has that sort of impacted you as a designer? And how did you find interior design, even for that matter?
Very good question. Let me start with thank you first. Thank you in general for what you're doing for the industry. Oh. It is amazing. And I really appreciate the invite. And obviously, we meet a lot in events. I don't know, once or twice a week, maybe.
Yeah, but we do have an idea of an offbeat event. We were just talking about it off air.
Okay.
If any supplier wants to get in touch, we have a good idea, wherein it's the exact opposite of what we normally do. But continue.
Yeah, please, let's do that. Listen to Alan. He knows what we need. So yeah, you're doing something great again. And I'm really excited for this conversation, to be honest. Again, we meet. We never get the chance actually to sit down and talk. So I think it's about time.
Yeah.
So let me answer your question. My name, you got it totally wrong.
Oh no, I tried.
You tried very well. The name is very short, very common in Egypt, but very hard to pronounce, to be honest. But it's okay. My name is actually Amr Abdelaziz. It's a lot of Ain in my name, but I'm getting used to that now. In Dubai, I get called Amr, Amir, Ali. got my name once Imar on one of the coffee shops somewhere. I was like, Imar, who ordered coffee?
Yeah.
I hope so, but unfortunately not. Well, I mean, growing up in Egypt actually is I consider myself quite lucky growing up in Egypt. You know, every corner has a story to tell, to be honest, and that really shaped my personality, let's say, and influenced the design in general that I'm doing currently. This mix between culture, history, Egypt, and then the scale international of global in Dubai, where when I moved here, this sweet spot and balance between both is I think is done well for me, to be honest. But if you, as usual, you want to go back to Baby Amr, right? Baby me. That's actually when I would say I started practicing interior design as a toddler. Let's say I'm able to hold a pencil. Great. Let's draw on the walls. Yeah. Let's ruin all the furniture.
It's called redecorating.
It's called decorating, mama. But to be honest, my parents were quite supportive in a way that they never repainted the walls and anything.
Yes.
Maybe because they didn't have the time or the patience or maybe the money, I don't know, to repaint the walls.
They just accepted it as life.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Keep going. Or maybe they were hoping like this guy is going to be the next Picasso. Because you never know, right? And then again, as a kid, and as every kid in my age as well, everyone was fascinated with video games, right? I loved playing video games, and I guess that was like a common thing in my era. And then maybe when I grew a little bit older, I thought, okay, let me do something with this video games. Should I be a professional video gamer, or maybe design some games, add my touch to the games and everything? But obviously, as usual, life had a plot twist for me. And apparently I was quite good in school. And if you're good in school in Egypt, you only get to pick from one of two options, either engineering or medical. So obviously I picked engineering because, numbers sounded better for me than, organs.
Blood.
And blood. Okay, I'll go with numbers then. I went to the engineering. From then, I picked architecture. The honest answer is I picked architecture because it sounded fancy. It's just like something I'm an architect, right? It sounded fancy and it's something that you brag about in a family dinner or something. And it's like, okay, cool. Let's do that. Let's do architecture. And to be honest, architecture has less numbers in study other than other departments. So, okay, I prefer to spend time drawing and, back to toddlerhood, like when I was drawing on walls and everything. Yeah, I would prefer to spend time drawings and everything rather than just calculations and so on. So architecture was amazing. And then again, the Egyptian influence, like, I'm not sure if you went to Egypt before, but if you go there, literally every corner is like, it gives you a different emotion, gives you a different feeling. So that really influenced my decision. And then after graduation, to be honest, I did practice architecture for 1 year. And at a certain point, I felt like I'm more into millimeters than meters. Like I want to go and see how the space feels, not how it's actually built. I mean, obviously both are equally important, right? I always give this example of cake making, right? If it's as if you're making a cake, rather you prefer to bake the cake or decorate the cake, right? It's again, both are equally important, but one of them is felt more like me. And as they usually say, like the eyes eats before the mouth, right? And for someone like me that does not eat sweet at all, I hate sweets. So for me, frosting is like first and last impression, right? I don't really see what's happening inside. So I felt that's more like me. And then I shifted to interior design right away. Okay. That's how it started.
And how did you adjust to the scale of things? Because obviously with architecture, you're typically working on larger projects, I would think. With interiors, you tend to become quite scaled back and controlled within sort of your shell, so to speak. No pun intended. But
okay.
So how did you feel there was a big adjustment going from sort of one scale to the other? Or
it was a big jump, to be honest. Again, in Egypt, as a junior architect, you do work in a really, really tiny detail as an architect, right? Tiny detail in a huge scale project and everything. I think that was also one of the reasons why I moved to interiors. I want to get hold of the whole project. Like, and when I started as an interior designer, I started with residential. So it was like a villa. Okay, I know everything about this villa. I have the architecture layouts and facades and designs and everything ready. Now it's my turn to know everything else about the villa. So it was a big difference of scale. Like I'm working on a huge facility in somewhere in the world and it has like 25 buildings and so on. And then from that scale to a villa, but again, everything about this villa, right? So it was a huge jump, but I felt more comfortable with that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Very cool. So I then want to ask, things seem to be pretty good in Egypt, right? Why Dubai?
Why Dubai?
Yeah.
Very good question. Well, it is, again, the short answer is the miracle of giving birth. My daughter came to life 9 years ago. That's 9 years ago. That's when me and my wife, we decided to, Egypt is amazing. Again, highly recommended for anyone to visit Egypt. You know what to do, where to go. There is always a good story to feel, to uncover, to reveal and everything. But at a certain point when Nelly, my daughter, she arrived, we thought, okay, let's plan like a better lifestyle for her. Egypt is amazing, but we can do better for her. That's why we moved to Dubai. And then also, moving to Dubai, it's pretty like mixed culture in here. Like everyone knows, of course, it's a big exposure for all of us, for me, for my wife, for my daughter, to know and to learn about different cultures in one country. That was also amazing. That's why we specifically picked UAE, because we knew that it will help all of our growth, like from my daughter, 1 day old, to us, both of us,
right.
Old enough. But again, it is obviously amazing experience, like living here, learning about different cultures. Everything is, like for example, food. You can literally find all kind of, cuisines in here. Yeah. Although in Egypt, yes, you can, but it's going to be a little bit, maybe limited. But here you will find like from one cuisine, but like 500 options, right? So you want to try them all.
Just yesterday, this is no joke. I think I must must have spent half an hour scrolling on different types of sushi just to order some sushi.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, but the rolls here look good, but the nigiris there look better.
Let's order both.
like, what a problem to have, right? There's so much choice.
Exactly. It's a good problem to have, yes.
I'm almost tempted to ask you, I know it might be still early and maybe you don't really have a definitive answer, but I really now want to go to Egypt predominantly because of the grand opening of the Grand Museum. I see a lot of it online, obviously, and I lack context of, exactly what that means for where it is and so on. But I'm assuming you probably have some insights and have some opinion on it. So do you think it's going to be really successful? Do you think it was worth the delay? Do you think all the negatives that came, do you think it was worth it finally? And just in general, as you can say it's part of your culture now that it's such a big, grand thing that's happened. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I know it's going to be a success. I know it's going to be a success. This museum had a soft opening, I think 2 years ago or maybe more. So I got actually the chance to visit.
Wow.
Yeah, the soft opening. And
now I have more questions.
So the soft opening was like basically opening a smaller portion of the museum, just a small portion, but it was impressive. And for someone like, again, born and raised in Egypt, it was impressive for me. I mean, I know the culture. I know the history and I know everything, and it was impressive for me. So I'm sure, like for other cultures and everything, when they come and visit, and then now it's fully open. So it is huge. It is big. You're gonna spend days. It's not gonna be a one day thing. You're gonna spend days to go through the museum. So it is impressive. Yes, go and visit, please. It's gonna be a success. It is already a success. The grand opening was amazing. Obviously, unfortunately we didn't go there, but we gathered around all the Egyptian, friends and everything in our house. We did a little barbecue before, and then we were like very excited. The kids were around, watched the whole thing. Like all of us, we felt like, the goosebumps and everything. It was quite emotional for all of us. We were very proud. It was a proud moment for all of us.
Yeah, I can imagine. And even more so for you guys, because you guys kind of would see a lot of the technical design nuances throughout the entire thing, whereas what I like to call the muggles probably would not, because for them it's like, oh, it's a normal museum, but you're probably seeing it from, oh, that material looks good and that little composition is good and all of that. So it's cool. If you find it impressive, I must visit.
You should
100%.
Just book your flights now.
All right. So then sort of switching back to Dubai, LW obviously needs no introduction. Everyone knows the kind of work that they produce and their sort of brand value in the market and so on. Undeniable, right? Definitely good work. So I want to ask you from a experience point of view, right? Because a lot of our audience tend to also be younger designers. If you could sort of share some key learnings or something in a project where you were like, if only I knew it like a year later, I maybe would have even changed fields or something like that. Any learnings like that you can share with the younger designer that you've probably picked up either here at LW or in your previous experiences? Yeah,
sure. Very good question. Of course, I know I can confirm that LW is an amazing learning. Do I say school or? I mean, it is an amazing learning experience.
We were talking off air. Yeah, there is this sort of unofficial design school tag that LW has. So it's true.
Definitely. I do consider myself lucky, to be honest, working with such an amazing team, amazing management. Shout out to Jesper, Pooja, Rachel, Andrew, all the team as well. We do learn, let's say, every day. But one thing I would say I've learned here is listening. Yeah, I mean, if I get to advise someone, just be a good listener. They usually say that I'm a good listener, because that's what I learned here, right? You listen to your client, you listen to the place, you listen to the culture you're designing for, you listen to everything, and then you start and make your story, which will guide you through the whole process of design, right? It's all about the story that you sell and you tell to your client, your guests, that story that you're trying to curate and guides you throughout the process, right? So listening is a key to come up with this story. That will be my number one advice, to be honest. If you want more, I can give you more.
No, but that's a very good point, because I think just to sort of break it down a bit further, it's listening and probably processing as well. Because it's one thing to hear a client say, I want a cozy space, right? Yes, you can hear that. But then what I'm imagining happens with you is that when you hear that, your mind's now thinking, all right, lighting of a certain value, sofas of a certain texture. That's kind of what you're processing from what you're hearing.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think listening and processing would probably be.
I would 100% agree with you, but I would add one more step in between. Again, it is the story. Like you're listening and then you're coming with the story that will guide you to go to this texture, this sofa, this pattern and everything. So just if you're listening and go directly to picking a texture or picking a pattern, I don't think the design will speak the same language. Like again, you're picking a pattern for the cushion, for example, right? And then you're going and pick another pattern for the wall cladding or wall covering, for example. If you don't have a story that guides you through this process, I think you will lose a little bit of the design language overall, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, one other advice, like another learning that I've learned here in LW is a wise man once told me, keep your pen with you. Never lose your pen, right? Never lose your pen. Always keep it with you. Sketch everywhere. Sketch in 2D, in 3D, a small detail.
Yeah.
Make the scale like bigger, 1 to 50, you're done, go to 1 to 20, right? Just always keep on sketching and drawing your ideas that you have in mind, right? I know that the world now is pushing us to rush the process, right? Just go AI. I mean, I don't want to talk about AI, but go AI, get like 2,000 options of what you have in mind. But if you started even this process, you can easily get inspired with AI. But if you started this process without sketching with your own hands, the idea that you initially had, you can develop it later, right? But don't rush the process. Don't try to skip steps, right? Again, I would agree if we are doctors or saving lives. We're not saving lives here. Let's chill. Take a step back. Just take a step back.
That has to be the most honest description of what we do. We're not saving lives, man.
We're not
chill
saving
out.
lives. Yeah. Just chill. If you don't, we're in the creative industry, right? We're in the creative industry. So if you cannot do it today, do it tomorrow, please. Because if you do it today, it's gonna be like bad.
Yeah.
In good words, it's going to be bad. So don't do it. If you can't, just take a step back, go get inspired, listen to some music, get a good coffee, go out, breathe like clean air, do something different, right? And then come back. It will come. Yeah. Don't rush the process. That's the other advice I would say.
Very, very smart advice, I must say.
Yeah.
It took me a very long time to learn that.
Likewise, same here.
So hopefully it helps out some of the younger designers listening in. You touched upon something which I think is quite interesting with when you listen to clients nowadays. And just for the sake of specificity, I'll sort of filter it down towards hospitality, right? When you're now meeting hospitality clients, I'm assuming briefs have changed over time because aspirations change, economics change, etc., etc. There are many things going on in this city, from branded residences to, boutiques with no more than 30 keys, that kind of thing. Everyone seems to be trying something different, I feel. I want to hear from you when you're now meeting hospitality clients. What do they want? What do they sort of want to achieve with their projects? What are they looking to try out? Are they more open to experiments or not? What's your thoughts on it?
I would say you will be lucky if you meet the client that know actually what they want from their property, which happens most of the time. But sometimes there are some clients that they really don't know and they want you to guide in the process, right? If you're asking me what is the client of hospitality is asking for the future, for example, projects, I would say you can really see a big shift in the requests now from the hospitality clients towards authenticity, right? Okay. I would say all this, wellness, well-being, sustainability and everything, it was maybe it was a trend kind of thing, but now it's not a trend anymore. It's something that you have to have. Yeah. Basics, right? Although I do hate the word trend. I can say why later. But now I think the authenticity of the property and the feel of the space that you're designing in different, market or in different is the key that the hospitality clients are asking for, right? They want to feel that you're designing a space for the guest to experience the culture, not just the pretty space, right?
Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Which I think it's a good thing now. Like, it's not about being polished or anything, right? It's not about being fancy, bling bling or anything. No, it's more of the story and the emotions that you get from the space after you leave, right? You leave one space with a memory. If you have this memory and it's a good memory, then you're done your job, right? And that's, I think, what the clients are asking for now. I would call it, from my perspective, it's like a quiet luxury. That's the quiet luxury. When you leave the space with a good memory and there is no bling bling around you, but you leave with a good memory, that's the quiet luxury for me.
Nice. Okay, I have to ask then.
Sure.
I have to clearly ask. In my mind as a designer, when I think of quiet luxury, I'm thinking from a materiality point of view, I'm thinking fairly neutral palette, earthy tones. I'm thinking luxury in terms of FF&E and furniture. I'm thinking lavish, sofas, oversized beds, etc., etc. But when I speak to other designers, they typically have a different interpretation of what quiet luxury really is. So therefore, I have to ask you, to you, what is quiet luxury? If a client comes to you and says, Mr. Abdelaziz, we need this project done with the concept of quiet luxury, where is your mind going?
Well, to be honest, I have two answers to this question. One is, I think it's the easy one. Like, what is luxury or quiet luxury? Luxury is space, right? Luxury is time. Time is luxury. Luxury is comfort. I think that is the go-to answer when you think about luxury. But I think for me, luxury is all about emotions. When you, again, enter the space and you feel that everything around you is just right. It's just for you. And it's like curated for you. And that's what you need. And you feel like, again, with a good emotion, that is luxury for me.
Okay.
That's, I hope that doesn't really sound deep, but
No, it does. It does. I completely resonate with it. I would wonder if you need to be more tactile, if you had to give sort of an actionable thing that you would do to achieve that, what would you do?
You will look holistically at the space. I'm not talking about, obviously finishes and comfort and the right finish that you touch with your bare hands or your bare foot. And that's all, again, it's not something, it is a necessity, right? That's you don't have to think about it. That's a must, right? Yeah. So if you're looking at the whole space, I'm talking about AC, I'm talking about noise, music, I'm talking about light, obviously. The whole space, again, holistically, everything that is working together for you. So yes, go and pick the right finish, go and pick the right color, the eye candy colors and everything. Go and do all of that. That is common practice. That goes without saying. But what else? Is the AC working well for you? Is it your temperature? Is it noisy? What about the music? Is it working for you? Is it, again, authentic? Is it from this place, or I'm just putting for you some heavy metal music?
Generic jazz radio.
Exactly. So it's just again everything that works together just for you.
And I'm also thinking you probably look at it at a larger context, right? Because it probably also starts with guest experience for sure, but it probably starts much earlier, even before they reach the room, so to say. It's also about your lobbies and your corridors and your lift and all of that.
It's all connected together. Exactly. Yeah. It's all connected. It's exactly as you said. It's not about the room where you're staying. No, but it's the approach, like the left lobby, the lobby, everything, every single detail going through the whole journey. That's why usually I would say sometimes I would prefer that interior designers are called actually experience designers, right? You're designing the whole experience. You're not just picking colors and finishes and textures, right? You're designing the whole experience, the whole journey to your guest. What do you want your guest to experience throughout the whole experience, right?
True. I almost have to ask, why do you hate the word trend?
Oh, God. Okay. No, I mean, for me, trends are meant to be ended, right? It's a trend. There's something happening now.
It's quite literally in the word, right? Yeah. The end is in trend.
The end is in trend, right? Trends are meant to come and go. Trends, if you're following trend, then you're doing a pretty space for today. What about tomorrow, right? So I would prefer the word timeless, right? Timeless takes time. Timeless takes effort. And you give it more of your, time and effort and everything to curate and come up with a timeless design. But if you're making a trendy design that's going to be great for today.
Yeah.
That's why I would say another advice, just don't follow trends. Don't look at trends. It's good to know. It's good to know
what's happening in the
what's
market.
happening around you, right? But just don't, like, for example, wellness and well-being. It cannot be a trend. That's something that you need to have in every project you're designing for. You cannot say that wellness is a trend. Right?
Yeah.
That's why I hate the word trend.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Any particular project that you've been to recently, say the last year or so, which really stood out to you? Because I like asking that question to get your thoughts on that particular project. It doesn't have to be an LW project, doesn't even have to be your own project. Just anything where you recently visited and were like, oh, this is really well put together.
Okay. I mean, if I'm talking about me and LW, I know I don't have to, but it's obviously very hard to pick one project because every project, all our babies, right? Every project you have special place in your heart, right? But if I get to pick from our projects, I would say the recently opened Ritz-Carlton and Masai Mara in Kenya. That is a very dear project to my heart, to be honest. And I believe for all the team, again, it was Jesper, Pooja, Casey, and myself working on this project. It is a new market, mostly for all of us. It is a lodge, safari lodge in Kenya. The place is amazing. It's just stunning. And the story was all about like mixing authenticity with luxury and the feel of the space and everything. It was the whole team, client and operator, everything. Like we all worked together to come up with this project. I mean, just check it out. It is one stunning project that all of us are very proud of. And we've learned a lot throughout the process. It was fast track and, the pressure was very high, but at the end it was very rewarding, to be honest. And this project is like ticked all the boxes for me. And I feel, again, it was a pretty successful one. If I get to pick another one to give you options, but
because we like options.
We like options, right? I think that's something also we learned. Always give options. But the other one, to be honest, it's not really a project. It was a competition.
Okay.
It's a search competition, and I'm sure everyone knows about search competition, right? It is, in my perspective, one of the best competitions that we have in the industry, to be honest.
I agree completely.
Very healthy competition between, different design firms and everything. And then obviously all the profit and money goes to countries in need of a clean water and everything. And last year we did participate as LW, and then we designed a piece that is inspired from a kid dream. So the dream was quite simple. Why don't we just blow air bubbles, fill it with water, and send it to countries that is they are in need of clean water, so no one has to walk miles and carry water and so on. And that kid was my daughter. That's Nelly's dream. Yes, and I was like quite proud and at the same time emotional when the team decided to call the piece Nelly's Dream. But it was like very, very mixed feelings. That do I want her to get involved in this madness? Should I feel proud? Should I feel happy? What should I do? It was a mixed feeling, but it was at the end, it was a very proud moment because I mean, the team is amazing. Casey and Nick, they invited Nelly, they welcomed her, they made her make the interview and everything. And I was like sitting there just watching them, and it was a proud moment. Proud daddy, proud designer and everything. It was a very good piece. And again, very, very healthy competition, let's say. Yeah. So you have your options now.
No, Surge is really doing a good job, right? I don't think as designers, we really give them a lot of props for what they do, but they actually are doing a really good job.
They are, to be honest. They've been there, I don't know, now 12 or 13 years. I don't want to mix the numbers, but I've been participating every year. This year I'm not, but LWR. So yeah, shout out for the search team. Very good guys. Very good guys. They're doing a very good job. Yeah.
I think every year, I think, no, this is the year I should. And I always miss the date. Sort of switching gears now, right? Okay. I think a lot of our listeners have a fairly good idea about your background, your experiences, everything that has led you up to this point. And this is normally where we like to look forward. So the simple question would be, what is on the horizon for yourself? What are you looking to achieve? Do you have any goals on a vision board somewhere?
Okay.
It can be any sort of timeline, the next year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. What's the sort of big thing that you're working towards now?
Well, I don't really have a timeline, but I know and I'm confident hopefully one day this will happen. I want to leave my mark before I leave. That is the dream.
Legacy will live beyond me.
It needs to be something that leaves some emotions with everyone. I want to design something that everyone will talk about someday, and it stays there forever. Again, coming back from Egypt, stuff that stayed for like 7,000 years.
True.
That kind of stuff. That is the dream. That is the dream that I hope is happening one day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a legacy project.
Let's say, yes.
100%. Nice.
It sounds very nice when you say it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, there are many designers who I've spoken to who have a very similar aspiration. They sort of tackle it in different ways. Like some of them have said, I want to, design a furniture line, for example, something which I do for Vitra, for example, which will then live on even beyond me, as a product to refer to. Some of them have spoken about giving back in terms of education. I want to fund a scholarship at my university. So one student would have, the complete sort of degree paid for. And maybe that student would become an awesome designer, and that's how my legacy sort of lives on through them. So it is a common thing to have this sort of aspiration for a legacy beyond yourself as a designer. So
I mean, it's a good thing to have a plan, to be honest, but I wouldn't say it is designing a space in particular or a furniture piece or something. The mark that I was talking about is something that whenever you see a designed either piece or space or anything, you can say that's Amr. Yeah, that I know.
Yeah.
It's that kind of mark that you can see in spaces and you can relate that to.
Right.
And that is going to happen. I know that.
Okay. So I have to then ask, so that would mean when you see a space you can recognize it means that you already have a very sort of defined design aesthetic, which remains consistent and then probably refines and becomes better and better, but generally stays consistent throughout. Do you think you have that now, or are you working towards it?
I mean, to be honest, I would say that my designs are usually a mix of bold and at the same time earthy. So that's kind of contrast that I'm looking forward to, right? That's the contrast I'm trying to achieve. However, in every project is an opportunity for me to explore something new.
Right.
That's why I always say curiosity is a key, right? I'm always curious what we have never done before. What if we do that? Why not we do this? It's in every project and in every opportunity, it's like, okay, let's do something different. Let's do something really different. So I don't want to define it as a defined style or anything. I want to keep it always open to my curiosity, let's say.
Right.
Yeah.
Brilliant answer. I love it. All right. So at this point of the episode, as you must have heard in other episodes, we have something called the aForm tradition. And for those of you who don't know, this is a question that's asked by one of our previous guests to the next guest, not knowing who the next guest is. Okay. It's all completely blind. Okay. And with full disclosure, off late, questions have been quite silly.
Okay. But I mean, to be honest... That's stressful because, I mean, I don't know who you had before me, maybe a different industry. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I mean, when we started this out, it was kind of design related, but then, I don't know, I think everyone's just having a bit too much fun and everyone's like, I want to ask this question. I'm like, okay, sure.
Let's see.
Yes.
Is it
super
fun?
Silly?
Super silly. Okay, I like silly. My daughter also likes silly.
All right. So the question is, as a designer, what's your strategy for avoiding a zombie apocalypse? I cannot make this up. As a designer, what's your strategy for avoiding a zombie apocalypse?
I mean, as a human, I think.
I'm going to stay human. That's how.
That is a very interesting question. I really want to know who asked the question.
I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
But as a designer, what could you do to avoid a zombie apocalypse? How do zombies happen?
I mean, I would say whatever I just answered, like throughout the episode, will not helping. Like curiosity, listening, everything I said is just not helping when the zombie comes.
Yeah, zombie's not going to wait for you.
It's not going to wait, right? I'm not going to talk much, I think. I mean, as I always tell my daughter, just never give up. So as a human, I would answer this question. I would just never give up. I'll keep on trying. I'm not the fastest in terms of running, but maybe you will come up with something that can protect you somehow. And then after you've been protected, what else? You'll live alone in the universe? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, to be honest. I don't have a straight answer to this question, but
I think I might give it a shot. I think
go for it.
I think as a designer, and this might be more of the architect in me,
Okay.
right? Like whenever I've seen zombie movies, I've always wondered, right? Zombies are like really fast. And they like run typically in, one direction, or they try to like get to wherever they're going. So I would probably create like, almost like those rat mazes, where it's like these walls where you have these 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree, like that kind of thing. Just to sort of slow them down.
Okay. Nice.
Sort of keep them on one side of the city. So that even if they were to like rush and come, they can't really like just beeline it across the field sort of thing. Silly answer, right? Silly question deserves a silly answer.
I think from the interior design perspective, I'll make a pillow fight maybe with the zombie.
Like, take this stitching, take this piping. Yeah. Wow.
That was a good question.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right. So for everyone listening in, if you want to get in touch with Amr, we'll have your socials and things linked down in the episode show notes if you want to get in touch, or just show up at any event.
Yeah.
You'll probably find them. And on behalf of, everyone on the show, I wanted to thank you for your time, because what I keep telling everyone that comes on is that while we do this, this is all fun and well and good. Without guests like yourself, we don't really have a show. And time is one of those very, very, very luxurious things.
Luxury, right? Yeah.
So it is not lost on me that you've given us a lot of value, not in terms of your experiences, but also in terms of your time. So thank you so much for doing that.
Of course, you're welcome. It's been a pleasure and a very genuine and and a nice conversation that we're having. And it's my pleasure, of course.
Awesome.
And again, you're doing something great. So please keep doing that. It is very helpful, again, for the industry, the young designers. Doesn't also have to be the young designers, right? We were just talking off air that I've learned a lot from your episode, like different fields and marketing. Yeah. Shout out to Selini again.
Shout out to Selini. Yes.
I've learned a lot like listening to your podcast. So please keep going.
Awesome.
You're doing amazing.
Awesome. Thank you for those kind words. I'm kind of blushing.
Good there are no cameras here.
Awesome. So thank you once again for coming on. And for the rest of you guys, we will catch you guys next week.
Fellow aFormer, thank you so much for your time. If this episode added any value to you, please share it with anyone who may benefit. If you want to carry on the discussion, please get in touch with us over socials. We are at aForm Show on the gram and hello@aform.studio on email. That is at aForm Show on the gram and hello@aform.studio on email. Until next time, stay inspired.